Hey everybody, welcome back. This is part two to the Money Mantras market structure training. So far, we have already analyzed the market on two different time frames. If you didn't see that, you can just go back and check out market structure part one, which is the video before this one. But we've analyzed it on the day and we've analyzed it on the 4 hour. So our day lines are represented by blue, right? You don't have to color code it, but you can. And our 4 hour is represented by orange, right? This can just help you stay organized. Usually I would do it in the color of the rainbow just so I remember. So red would be my day, orange would be my 4 hour, and so on and so forth. But since I've just been only using one color, I've been fine. But this will help you stay organized. So once we get some support and resistance set up on the 4 hour, we want to do the same thing on the 2 hour, right? Because as you'll notice, the deeper, and I only zoomed out so you guys can see that the market will always go into some type of high and low zone, right? As long as the market, and this is something you can write down as well, as long as the market is between two lines, you have your support and resistance on top of your indicators. We haven't reapplied our indicators yet, but as long as you have a top line, for example, here, and a bottom line, you know that the market may sell here, right? And you know that it may buy here. But as you dive deeper, think about, have you ever seen a movie and it'll be like the universe, and then it'll be like the earth, and then it'll be like the city, then the town, and the person, like it just keeps zooming in until you actually get down, but it's all one thing. That's exactly what the market is like. So you start on the day, you figure out what the overall trend is. Again, if we were to go to the day, we saw that Euro USD was on the uptrend. When we went to the 4 hour, let's just go back. We can see that, okay, so if we were to analyze this entire thing, we can see that, okay, is looking like it's been down for a couple of hours. Overall, we know it's going up, but we know it's been down for a couple of hours, right? So we can put more support and resistance. Let me go back to two, right? We can put more support and resistance, or if you already have your lines that you feel like are valid, that's cool. So I'm gonna just put a line here, and I'm gonna put a line here, and I'm gonna just turn it yellow to let me know that's my 2 hour analysis. Hopefully y'all can see that, right? And then you can go down to the hour, because the thing is, you want to do your analysis on big time frames, but you want to find your entry on a smaller time frame, because if everything is corresponding, like you have all sell signals from the day to the 4 hour to the hour, you can actually go down to the 30 minute and enter your trade on the next 30-minute candle, because you already know what's about to happen. And that's what they call sniper entries. You're zooming in, right? So if we were to look at this, we can see that the candles are currently having a structure between these two lines, right? So we know that this is our resistance line, price may sell here, and we know that this is our support line simply because the candles are between those two lines. But we also know, I'm gonna just go over. Let me just zoom out a little bit. We know that the market can hit this resistance line from the, I think, 4 hour. The market, no, from the day. Oh, wow, this is even better. The market is about to hit the same resistance line that it's been hitting for the last 7 days. I mean, weeks, actually, because this is from our day analysis. So that's good for us, right? We see that it's getting close to a resistance zone. We can see, right, that in the past, because we're looking at all of this, this is a lot of hours, because each one of these candles is an hour. We can see that it's been hitting this zone for how many hours? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. It's been having a hard time getting past that zone. We can also see in the past, it had a hard time breaking out of that zone as well. But what happened last time it broke out of the zone, guys? Did it buy or did it sell? Did it decide to sell or did it buy? Sell, right? Right, right. Exactly. And the crazy thing is, this is analysis over multiple time frames. So you've gathered so much data already just by clicking a few buttons, right? You've gathered so much data. So now we've determined, okay, the market is on an overall trend. It's on an overall uptrend for the day. However, when we get smaller and smaller, we can see that it was selling for a while, then it decided to go up. So this market is actually what we would consider ranging, right? Which means that we don't actually know, is it going to do exactly what we think it's going to do? Is it going to hit this price, $1.02, right? Is it going to hit that same price, or is it going to actually decide to break structure, right? Is it going to do this like we think it's going to do, or is it going to break structure and move into this level to create new levels, right? So how do you guys think we answer that question? How do you think we, after we set up our initial support and resistance over multiple time frames, and again, you can get as jiggy as you want. You can go down to the 15-minute, right? And you'll see, even on a 15-minute, it's still getting close to the daily resistance point. What do you guys think we have to do next to confirm our initial analysis? Oh, spicy quick with it. I didn't even finish the question. A plus, A plus, right? A plus. And you can keep your chart once you've done your analysis over all the different time frames. You have your colors in your mind. You can even do this. You can get a little text box and you can say, you can put this blue and you can say blue is day chart, right? I love taking notes on my chart, right? And then you know that your blue is your day chart. You can have your little key. You can say yellow is your 2 hour. You can say whatever you want, right? So now, like Spicy said, we're actually going to add our indicators and we can stay. What time is it? We can stay on a 15 or 30-minute time frame to actually find our entry because the analysis is already done. So we can find our entry on this small frame. So the indicators that I have are the SAR, right? I have my Donchian channel, right? I have my EMA, which I need to change. I have my 200 EMA, and I have my MACD, right? So let's actually dive in and see what we're going to do. I actually want to go back to the 4 hour. Wow. If you guys were here yesterday, you should already know how beautiful and amazing this is looking right now. If this looks like a good setup, somebody drop a 7 in the chat. Somebody tell me if this is a good setup or a bad setup. Let me know, what do you see based on everything that we've gathered today? Let me know. I want to know who know, because this looks very good, right? So basically, this is a perfect buy setup because we have everything we need. We have our resistance. And now since we have our indicators, I can actually move this up to my Donchian resistance line. So just a recap for people who may have not seen the previous video. And that video is called Back Testing Your Strategy. Make sure you definitely watch that video to learn about this strategy right here. So the SAR are these purple dots. They're the trend indicators. They pretty much tell you if the candles are above the SAR, just think that price is above trend and it may continue to go up, right? It may continue to go up. Then you also have the Donchian channel, which is this line, this thick blue line, this orange line, and this blue line, right? It's 3 lines, very similar to another indicator called the Bollinger Bands. And if you find that the candles are above this middle line, that's another confirmation that you can get in for a buy because it's letting you know that price is above average. Because this middle line is literally the average of the top line and the bottom line. So if the candle is above it, that's a great sign to buy. If the candle is below it, that's a great time to sell. And in the back testing video, we did 10 examples where this proved to be true and profitable, right? Another indicator we have is this green bar telling us that the buyers have a little bit of momentum. We also have the MACD. We have the signal line crossing above the MACD line. We have our green histogram. Everything looks like a buy to me, right? Everything looks like a buy to me. Jordan said the SAR is under the candle, right? And the signal's on top. And Spicy said we have 6 confirmations. Not only that, right? We also have price is not really that far from a previous support, right? And we all know that a support is an area where you can buy, right? We all know that support is an area where you can buy. So what you actually can do if you wanted to get into this trade for a buy, and the reason why we probably could select a buy simply is because we know overall the market is in a buying trend, right? And again, you can go back to the day to confirm this again. Okay. Wow, even it's still going up, y'all. It's really still going up. Like it may be under the middle line, but it looked like it could be crossing over, right? It looked like it could be crossing over. It's been going up for a couple of days now. That is cool. And then even on the daily, which is amazing, like it just crossed exactly. So that means we going long. That means we going long. Right? I love it. I really love that for us. But we also see on a bigger time frame, it is near a resistance zone, but that's okay because we have the SAR at the bottom. This was actually our signal candle right here. This is the candle that I got in on, and I definitely made bread. I was thinking buy. It's a lot to open space. Yes, buy. Go long, because it's looking like that's what it's doing. Right? It's actually been down. Look at this, because this is the daily. It's been down for one, two. It's been down all last week. And if y'all can see, I've been studying Euro USD for a minute. The reason why I love Euro USD is because overall it's such a ranging and consolidating market. Like, look at this. It'll always be like, I want to go, I want to go down. I want to go up. I want to go down. I want to go up. Like Euro USD is literally such a ranging market overall. So if it's been selling for the last 7 days, I think that it's probably gonna want to buy for the next. We got at least 3 more days on that buy, which I think is amazing. It could come back here and sell. It could come back here and sell. So you guys could set a sell limit, but you know, once it hit this line, it's gonna go right back up and buy. So it's gonna be a little bit of resistance from the sellers since they've been in control for days. But we got that confirmation on the buy, and like Jordan said, it just crossed. So that's a really good sign that this trend is going to continue for a couple of days because we're analyzing it on a daily analysis, right? If that makes sense, y'all, drop some sevens in the chat. This trade getting me excited because I feel like I'm gonna wake up with some blue screens tomorrow, family. That's what I'm feeling like. But we're gonna say, right? So then we go back to the 4 hour, and again, we just checking out, we seeing what's going on. We see, all right, we still got some heavy momentum, right? We still see that this signal line is above the MACD line. We still see that the buyers are a little, they because we can see that the market is ranging a little bit for the last 16 hours. We know it wants to go up, right? We know it wants to go up. It's trying really hard. It's under the that's a little sketchy too. But overall, I'm still in it for the buy. Let's go down to the 2 hour. Let's see what's happening there. Okay, on the 2 hour, we can see that the green candle actually just crossed over the 200. Wait, let's see where the green candle was at on the day. If it's above or below the 200 on the day. Okay, it's been below for a while, looking like it's going to make a comeback. All right, so it just crossed over the 200 EMA on the 2 hour, which is pretty good. We can go down to the 1 hour. Okay, it's a little bit of resistance, but we know that. What do you guys think the market is going to do? Do you think it's going to, let's go to the 4 hour since this is the one we'll be taking our trade idea from. Do you guys think that the market is going to break structure and continue to go up? Or do you think that it's going to stay in this zone for a while? You think it's going to consolidate for a while before it breaks structure? Or do you think it's just going to break structure? What do you guys think? I want to know your thoughts. Consolidate first, okay. Let's see some other thoughts. Break, okay. Okay. I could definitely see it breaking in the next couple of hours. I can definitely see that. Yep, consolidate, then break structure. Yep. Yep, I can definitely see the same thing. So you guys, this is something you can keep in your back pocket, right? You can look at it, you can set a pending order. You can put the trade in your demo account. And you can just see what's going to happen. And I agree. All right, you guys said I'm breaking up. Let me know when I'm good with some eights. All right, awesome. So you guys are right about the consolidation, because if we go down to the hour time frame, we can see that the SAR is above. We can see that the MACD, the signal line, is below the MACD. So we know that for a couple of hours, at least 4 hours or so, it is going to be acting a little finicky, but we do think it's going to go up, because even on the 30-minute, we have it's about to cross over again, right? It's about to cross over again. So yeah, that's Euro USD. I'm not sure if you guys are going to what you're going to do with this trade idea, but you do have the option to log into your chart, set up your indicators, set up your support and resistance, and then decide if this is a trade idea that you think is worth taking, right? Now let's quickly look at the GBP USD pair, and we're going to see what happened to the trade, right? Where we all thought it was going to sell, but then it actually broke structure and it decided to buy. So we're going to see what happened. So as you guys can see here, this was the trade idea. Shay, I'm not sure what you mean by the 1 to 4 parameter settings, but when I set my parameters, I'll typically use a 1 to 1.5 risk to reward ratio or a 1 to 2 ratio. I already said I'm breaking up. 1% risk. Well, overall, I'll do 2% risk. I'll do 2%. 1% is really good though. That's like super, super, super disciplined, especially if you want to take more trades. But I typically do 2% per trade. And I'm typically not in more than 3 trades at a time. So I really try to limit it to 2, honestly. But we're just going to do a little review on this trade that we set up yesterday. Again, if you want to see more about this trade, watch the back testing your strategy video that you can find on my channel. So this is what we thought was going to happen. This was actually the candle right here, and I'll circle it, and we're going to actually figure out what went wrong. Right? So this was the candle that we actually thought it was going to sell on, but we were bamboozled, and as we can see, the market decided that it wanted to go up. So if you did enter this trade for a sell, you definitely would have lost money. But if you were using proper risk management, then it should be fine, because you should never really be losing more than you're winning. And if you really do control your risk to reward ratio, you'll be fine. So let's actually hide our indicators for a second. Let's set up our support and resistance, and let's see if we missed something, right? So we're going to start with the day. And again, this is just back doing a quick look at GBP USD. So we have the day there. We're going to go to the 4 hours. And the nice thing about taking notes on your chart, and why I highly recommend it, is you can go back and see your mistakes. You can see, okay, maybe that was a false signal by the SAR. Maybe it wasn't really switching. The market was consolidating, and I didn't realize that. Maybe it was this, maybe it was that. So the more you know, and the more you work with one pair, the more you'll already have entry points, and you'll already have a greater understanding as to how that pair might move. Nothing is 100% predictable, but the more you know, that's all I can say. So we're going to wait for this to load up. We're just going to back test our entry from yesterday. But if you guys do have any questions, you can definitely drop them in the chat. So we're going to GBP USD, and we're setting up our support and resistance to see what happened in this trade. Because this will happen to you. You'll think that you have a really perfect setup, but then the market will take you out, or it'll go the opposite way. The thing about trading is you should not trade with your emotions, because it happens. You have to be willing to accept your failures. You have to be willing to accept your wins, your losses. So let's go. So to the 4 hour. Okay. So this is the trade that we thought was sell, but the trade decided to buy. And as we can see, let me just put another line here. Let me just turn this line blue. Right. So we can see that the market was ranging in this area. Okay. So this is what happened. Do we see what happened, guys? We see that the market was ranging in this area, right? It was buying and selling within this zone for a couple of hours. 4 candles is 16 hours. 6 candles is a day. So for 2 days, it stayed in the same zone. So when the market came back to this previous price of $1.19, based on the indicators at the time, we thought that the market would sell. However, what we just learned about higher highs and lower lows, the market actually broke structure and it started to create a new high, right? So this zone that we thought was going to be profit by the market hitting this price and coming back down, the market actually went up. And as you can see, this is where I was taken out of the trade and this is where it hit my stop loss, right? And I can see that because I took notes on my chart. So now this market is in a new zone and it has a new high. So instead of setting my price or selling, it says I'm breaking up. Let me know if that's true. If I'm breaking up, guys, drop some 4s. If I'm good, drop some 8s. All right, awesome. So we can see that the market had a previous high, right? The market it had a high, but then it created a new higher high. So this red is where we set our stop loss yesterday. We set our reward down here. We set our risk up here. We thought the market would drop. The market decided to go up instead. So it's nice to, again, backtest your strategies. It's nice to understand market structure. It's nice to do your analysis on multiple time frames. It's always nice to set up support and resistance because you'll have a better idea at what's going to happen. I would say 6 to 7 times out of 10, the market will go in your favor. The other 30 to 40%, you can't really control that. And as we can see happening right now in real time, the market is getting close to the new resistance zone and it could be setting up for a sell. So we see, let's put our indicators back on and let's see if this is a trade opportunity that we could possibly get into. Right? But hopefully you guys understand market structure a little bit more. It gives you some insight into how the market is moving. It sets you up better so that you're taking less losses. So I'll just recap one more time from the beginning, just in case anybody missed it. But these are the steps that you will want to do before taking your Forex trade. So first and foremost, you're going to want to check the news. The new thing that I like to use is called FinViz, just because it's a little bit more visual. You could still use Forex Factory as well. Sometimes I'll go there if I'm feeling jiggy, but I can just really come in here, glance at it. I can see that Euro USD is in an uptrend. I can see that GBP USD is also in an uptrend, which we just established, right? We established that it's creating new higher highs, which means that it's in an uptrend, right? We can just get a glance. You can also click the performance to see how these pairs are performing against the US dollar. So again, if we're doing Euro USD and it's up, again, that's letting me know that that's uptrend. I should look for more buy opportunities. If I see GBP USD is also on an uptrend for the day, right? Because you can select it over here. That's also going to give me a bias towards the buy because the market is bullish, right? So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to set up my multiple support and resistances. Right now, I can see that I have my signal line above my MACD. That's one confirmation. I have the light green histogram telling me that the buyers are not that strong, but they're still in control of the market. That's 2 confirmations. I have the candles are above my middle line. I have the SAR under the candles. Okay, so that's more confirmations for a buy than a sell. But on the 4 hour is looking like it could hit the zone or it could break structure. So let's zoom in, right? That's always what you want to do, is check the analysis or multiple time frames to determine ultimately what you should do. So overall, it's buying on the day, is going up on the 4-hour, is having some resistance in the 2-hour. Okay, having some resistance is going to be a little rocky. Okay, it's still up on the 15-minute. It's going to be a little rocky, but would I enter this trade? It has to be 100% clear. And again, you also want to set up support and resistance on every time frame, because once the market gets close to your support zone, and you're trying to go for a buy, cool. Once it gets close to your resistance zone, you know you can go for a sell. All right, so we're going to do that. We're going to do, I'm actually going to put this here. So if you guys wanted to scalp this, you may be able to scalp for a sell, because it's going to hit the resistance zone and it's going to be selling for a couple of hours, but you wouldn't want to stay in too long, because we know eventually it's going to buy. Like if you wanted to, for example, a candle just started at 9 o'clock. If you would have gotten in on that 9 o'clock candle, with a $1 lot, which is $10 per pip, you will already be up $100. And it's only been 5 minutes, simply because the candle hit the resistance zone and came back down. So that's another way that you can play with market structure and time frames, is once you establish what's going on, if you see a smaller trend and you do want to scalp it for maybe an hour or two based on the pattern that's being formed, you have the option to do that too. Like if you would have gotten in for that sell, as you can see, at 9 o'clock, then you would be in profit, right? But if you were to hold that trade for a longer time, if we go back to the 4-hour chart, you can see that it's probably going to come back down to this zone and go for a buy once again, because that's the overall trend. If that makes sense, let me know. Y'all drop 7s in the chat if it makes sense. Now, okay, awesome. I'm glad. Now is the time to ask questions. If you guys have any questions, I will be glad to answer them. This was a money mantra training on market structure, understanding the difference between an uptrend, a downtrend, and a consolidated market. We also talked about breakouts. We talked about finding support and resistance on multiple time frames. And we talked about how to find your entry on a smaller time frame as well. So the more it corresponds from the day to the hour, the more confirmations you have, count them, right? Count them for your buys and for your sells, and determine when you should get into the trade. If it's confusing and it's too many conflicting things with the trade, like you really don't know, it's not clear, it's simple. Just don't take that trade or analyze another pair. But like I said, 6 to 7 times out of 10, it'll be pretty clear what you should do. It's just about knowing if the candle is close to your support zone, close to your resistance zone, and do the indicators actually confirm what's going on with the overall trend. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this session. I hope that you learned something. If you liked it, please make sure that you like, share, comment, subscribe, and also share this on Instagram, right? So good night, everybody. I appreciate you all for coming, and we'll be back soon with another episode of the Money Mantra. Good night.